Hey guys, it's the Kee and Ri podcast here. I'm Ri,
I'm Key.
and today we're going to bring you some hot Reddit stories. I have a really good theme for us today, so we're going to get right into it.
Basically, what she's saying is we're bringing the team. We're bringing it right
We're
to
bringing
you.
the tea to you now, and it's hot. So
Piping.
So buckle up. Our theme for the day is should they break up?
Should they? Should they do
Should
it?
they break up? Is this divorce worthy? Is this breakup worthy? So basically, we're gonna read some of these couples' stories and figure out if they're done or if they should try to rebuild their relationship.
Come on.
Let's get it. All right, story number 1 is titled, Am I the Asshole for Making a Joke About My Wife's Intelligence? Starting off strong. Let's
Early.
get them. Okay, so my wife has an extremely big heart and cares for everyone around her. She always tends to see the absolute best in people, which leads to people taking advantage of her. She's been robbed because of her optimistic outlook on life. My wife is the timid type, never the confrontational type, and not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Cooking her. Baking her
Starting
already.
strong.
Early.
I have a very good friend who I'm referring to as Stan for anonymous purposes. Stan and I have been friends for a very long time, and he is an extremely intelligent man with a PhD and a professor at an esteemed university.
Whoa. This is a man talking about another man?
A man
We're calling
talking,
his wife slow?
it's a friend.
Hold on now. Hold
Okay,
on, brother.
all right, not too much. When restrictions eased, Stan came to visit me. I think this was around COVID. That's what he means. My wife is very interested in Stan's line of work. When I introduced Stan to my wife, she began to ask him questions all related to his career. He answered them politely, but it felt more impromptu interview than two friends catching up when my wife was around. I told my wife that her fascination with Stan's career could possibly be making him very uncomfortable. She apologized and promised to not ask any questions and only speak when spoken to. Wow.
He's wildin'.
Wow.
He wrote all this down?
Like, wrote it down and posted it. Okay. Here's where it gets juicy. I invited Stan and his wife to a friendly dinner, and Stan's wife complimented my wife on her bilingualism. And my wife could not stop gushing about it when they left. She's very insecure in the presence of very intelligent people, and getting a compliment from an extremely intelligent person, especially a linguist, must have boosted her self-esteem. I politely asked her to stop talking about my friends, but she started rambling about how someone saying, "You sound like a native," is a very meaningful comment to her, considering a bunch of other factors. I made a harmless joke about why she's so surprised about someone complimenting her intelligence is because she's not that intelligent. And
Nah.
instead of laughing along, she got offended, and I tried to explain myself by saying that no normal person would keep talking about one compliment that a stranger gave to them, and that I knew that she was obviously insecure being in the presence of very intelligent people, and the compliment is acting as compensation. She's very upset with me, and I've tried to have an adult conversation with her, but she's not listening to me, so am I the asshole?
I don't even think we need to even talk about this one.
I don't think we even need to discuss it, but I was just baffled by him
He's
overall.
bugging.
Like, you do not love this woman if you just
Why
constantly
is he
degrade her
really hate
intelligence.
her? Like,
he really hates her
he said speak when spoken
when
to.
spoken to.
Like-
And it's like, you just are constantly bringing her down. I'm sure she's like a beautiful, smart woman, and maybe he's intimidated by that, so he brings her down to build himself
She knows
up.
multiple languages, though, so she, like,
Right.
at the end of the day, she has to be pretty there if she can do multiple languages.
It's just so crazy that he doesn't accept her as even being able to be a part of their friend group because he doesn't see her as intelligent.
I know, like, he's super disrespectful, and I don't know what she did to hurt him. Like, who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
So, obviously, the overall vote on this was that he's an asshole, and he even posted an edit saying, "I get it, I'm an asshole, I'll apologize and try to fix this."
Oh, he's a
whatever."
troll.
He's a troll.
He's a troll.
But the theme of the podcast is this breakup worthy? And I say that she needs to find someone that values
Get
her.
him out of here. Not somebody
Yeah.
that values her, somebody that's a decent human being overall. Like,
Overall, that appreciates her, and obviously she's bringing a lot to the table. She's excited to be around his friends. She seems like a happy person, like they're talking to her, they like her. So I think that she needs to go to somebody that's going to value that.
I'm sure she can find somebody as well. Like, multiple languages. She's already in a relationship, so I'm sure she knows how it works, like the ins and outs. So it's like, he's done.
And it sounds like he might be in love with his male friend, honestly.
Like-
The way that he's talking about his male best friend is a little sus. Like, how are you going to build up your male best friend over and over and then degrade your wife?
Degrade.
Make it make sense. I say asshole divorce. Get her out. I hope she finds somebody better.
1-0 on breakup.
1-0. Break up one, stay together. 0. You ready for the next one?
Come on, man. We on story 2. Let's go.
Story 2 is titled, oh, this one's coming from r/relationship advice. So this is not an am I the asshole. This is somebody posting asking for advice on their relationship problem.
Okay, so we won't bear down on them.
We won't bear down on the asshole vibe, but we're going to bear down on our advice for sure. And it's titled, I, 25 male, accidentally cheated on my girlfriend, 23
The
female,
old accidental.
of 2 years with her identical twin sister. Don't know what to do now.
It keeps getting worse.
It keeps getting worse.
Why does
right?
he need advice?
He doesn't know what to do.
He's too far gone.
All right, let's see. Let's check it out. He says, I want to preface this post by stating that I never imagined myself capable of intentionally or unintentionally cheating on my girlfriend. But I guess I wouldn't be making that post if that were true.
Appreciate you. Thank you. We're here now.
To start this all off, I've been dating my current girlfriend for the past 2 years, but I've been close friends with her for around 3.5 years, so I consider our relationship to be very strong. Ever since I've met her and her twin sister, it's been very difficult for me to identify them apart because they look so incredibly identical, and on top of that, I have extremely hard time recognizing faces of people that I know well to begin with.
Whoa. He's blind?
I think I may have undiagnosed prosopagnosia or a similar condition.
No, prosopagnosia.
I've never heard of that, but okay. I'm not trying to make an excuse for what happened, so I'm going to describe what led up to the event now. Let's go. He says, 2 days ago, I went to a bar with my girlfriend, her sister, and an assorted mix of both my friends and my girlfriend's friends.
An assorted mix.
I know, very well spoken. Every single one of us got way drunker than usual to celebrate the rare occasion where we can all hang out. I spent the night socializing with my girlfriend and my friends, not really interacting with the twin sister too much as she was occupied with other people in the bar. I should mention now that my girlfriend and sister wore very similar outfits as they like to do when they went out together. It's getting bad.
Side eye.
We were having a great time for a few hours when I went to the bathroom to try to sober up. It didn't work. And when I returned to the bar, I couldn't find my girlfriend where I left her. The next morning, I checked my text and saw a message about how she was feeling sick and took a cab home while I was in the bathroom. I don't know how I didn't see the text earlier or why I didn't worry about how she didn't tell me where she was going in person, but I guess I can chalk that up to us all being completely plastered.
Girlfriend of 2 years left the moment you left? It's exotic.
Side eye. I don't even know how she managed to gather her things and leave during what feels like the very short amount of time I was in the bathroom, but that's something I can figure out after I resolve this. Anyways, my memory after going to the bathroom is pretty hazy, but I can recall spending the rest of the night talking and flirting with what I assumed was my girlfriend.
No.
And taking a cab home with her to my apartment when the bar started to empty out. One thing I remember is that me and my girlfriend's sister were the last out of our group to leave the bar. I woke up the next morning with no recollection of what happened after leaving the bar, and I assumed nothing was wrong. But then I checked my unread text and saw that my actual girlfriend left the bar early, and after checking around my bedroom, I found the clothes on my floor and 2 condoms in the garbage that I'm 100% certain weren't there before I went to the bar. Feeling pretty bad and honestly terrified of what could happen, I texted my girlfriend's sister about that night, and although I can't post external links in the subreddit, I'll copy her response here and link the image in the comments. So he added the receipts. He put in the text that he got from the twin sister the next morning.
The 4K.
The 4K.
God.
So text number 1 said, we hooked up in your apartment after we left the bar. You were acting like you were into me the whole night, and I've always been into you.
Bombastic. Side eye.
And then text number 2. I left early in the morning because I felt guilty about what I did to my sister, but I don't regret what happened between us. Please don't tell girlfriend's name what we did. He finishes it up by saying, I have no idea what to do because I feel like I violated my girlfriend's trust in me. I also feel like my girlfriend's sister took advantage of me because anyone knows who the relationship between myself and my girlfriend knows. Neither one of us would knowingly cheat on the other. I'm looking for any advice as to what to do here because I'm at a complete loss. It's a lot to unpack.
Looks like somebody needs glasses.
It's a lot to unpack. I honestly don't know about this one because he was blackout drunk, he said. Like, he was plastered. I think that the twin sister is really shady.
You know what? The twin sister's shady, but if you've been with a girl for 2 years, you should know if it's not your girlfriend or not. I don't care what kind of
I
situation
agree with
you're
that.
in. It could be the same person with the same clothes on. If you've been with somebody for 2 years, you should know the difference.
Like, his lack of concern for her whenever he went to the bathroom and came out and just assumed that the twin was his girlfriend, you know.
Like, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. You think? You think?
That's
He
a hot
literally
take.
says he has a diagnosed condition where he cannot distinguish between faces of people that he knows.
I'm not familiar with that.
I'm about to look it up. Let's look it up, guys. Here's the definition of prosopagnosia, a neurological condition characterized by the inability to recognize faces of familiar people.
I'm insensitive. So I'm an asshole.
You're canceled.
It could be my
So
fault.
Kee
It could
is
be me.
canceled.
It could be me.
I think that he's not in the wrong. I think the twin sister is crazy. And sometimes identical twins.
Oh, I'm not wrong. You know somebody's voice. You know how somebody talks. You know how somebody dresses.
Yeah.
You saying you don't know their face doesn't justify you hooking up with somebody's sister.
Sister is crazy. Like, you're around both of them so much, I feel like you would know the difference. Like,
You could be
that's your
blind.
only job, is to know the difference between her and her identical sister. And I feel like in that situation, you would be especially sensitive to the fact that they look alike, that you would make sure that it's not the twin sister.
If you can't recognize faces, right here, man, I'm about to take you on a trip. If you can't recognize faces, right, that means you're not living in a world where you're going directly off how people look, right? Boom, I'm about to connect it right here.
Okay.
So that means you communicate with people. You learn about people through communication, not through just visual. Mm-hmm. So he cheated on purpose. It's not my
Whoa!
fault. He cheated on purpose.
Whoa,
'Cause
that's
if you're
a
not
hot
going
take.
off how they look,
That's
you're
a hot
going,
take.
You don't know faces. If everybody looks the same, that means you're going off of how they make you feel. And she made you feel better than the sister that night. He's a freak. He's freaked out.
You think? I don't know. I'm so unfamiliar with his condition. How severe is it? But I feel like even if you have a severe condition like that, I agree with you. Like, you should know by her mannerisms, tone of voice, like, oh, that's my girlfriend and that's her sister. You should be able to distinguish by
You're trying
anything
to say you
except their
cheated
looks.
because you couldn't tell them apart. But you
Yeah.
can't tell anybody apart,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
I don't have an update or anything. I wish I did. I don't know if this is breakup worthy. I would love to hear the sister's reaction.
Yeah, and it's 2, you know? This is breakup
I think it's
worthy.
breakup worthy just off the muscle of you guys can't coexist anymore, you and the twin sister. Now it's weird. Now every family event, it's weird. Every function, birthday, everything is weird now. Especially birthdays, because they're
that
twins.
family's in flames, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then that dude, he needs to get things in order. You can't blame you not knowing faces is the reason you cheat. So is that a get out of jail free card? Is that what he's finna be on?
Well, I like what you said. I think it's actually the opposite. He should be well versed on everything except their faces that make them different if he has that kind of condition.
But you're saying you not knowing their faces.
He was
is what
into
made you
it. He was into it.
cheat. He doesn't need advice. He doesn't need anything.
He needs a new girlfriend is what he needs.
He doesn't need anybody. He needs to work on himself.
Get him out. 2-0.
You weird?
On to the next. All right, next story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Not Wanting to Live with My Boyfriend's Dogs?
Like, no. But let's find out. I feel it, though.
Let's hear her out, okay?
I won't be irrational. I won't be that guy.
Okay, let's hear her out. I, 33 female, and my boyfriend, 44 male, have been together for 5 years. We both own our own homes, but he is selling his due to splitting with his ex-girlfriend he bought it with. He is planning to move into my home, but will not be contributing towards my mortgage. The issue is my boyfriend has...
Real king right there. Hey, get out how you
Wow.
live. Nice.
The issue is my boyfriend has 2 dogs. He works long hours, and they are left for a long time. He doesn't really walk them, and I don't think he has ever bathed them since I knew him.
Manly
Never?
Man. Manly man. Guy's guy.
They are short-haired dogs, but they smell really bad, and he lets them poop in the garden wherever they want, and he won't clean the garden unless he is having people over for a barbecue.
That's corny.
I, on the other hand, am not a dog person. I was bitten by a dog as a child and was terrified of dogs until I was about 19. Nobody in my family has ever had dogs. I will sometimes cross the street if I see a dog walking my way. I love animals and never want a dog to come to harm, but I have had to explain to my boyfriend that if he moves in, I will not be taking care of them. Walking, caring, and cleaning up after them is solely his job. Setting boundaries. I like it.
That's the end of it?
No, there's more. My boyfriend keeps talking about dog-proofing my home with baby gates, fences in the garden, etc. I have huge anxiety about this, although I love my boyfriend. I've told him if they move in, I will need to be confined to one area of the house, like the kitchen, as I don't want them on my carpets or sofa. He gets in a big mood, and we keep going around in circles. We've had so many arguments about this, I honestly thought he would end up giving them to his ex who asked for them, and used to be the one looking after them. This has been a long argument that happens regularly but is not solved. He has always known I do not want the responsibility of pets, but I think he'd hope I would change my mind. Am I the asshole?
You know what? For the first time during this show, I feel it.
Yeah, I don't think that's her responsibility,
Yeah, nah.
especially she's setting these boundaries. And she's terrified of dogs.
It's not on her. Like dog, like she said, she got bit. Dogs are like a slippery slope. You know what I mean? Some people like them, some people don't like them. You're not wrong for not liking dogs. Like, you should never force a dog on somebody. But you know what? You can maybe have a situation where you can speak about it if you trained your dog, if you take care of your dogs, if you clean up after your dogs.
Yeah.
Because you know that's one of the most annoying things is when there's dogs around that aren't taken care of. It's just more of a burden on you and whoever's around. And because he doesn't take care of them and he's not home, it's like.
It's like, what
Just
do you do?
Better, do better.
And it's sad because it's like she's going to feel the responsibility, like, oh, these dogs aren't taken care of. Like, I feel bad for them, you know, not getting walked or played with. And she did not sign up for that responsibility.
They're not compatible. It's not like, oh my God, break up with him, he's horrible. It's more just like, you guys aren't good for each other. This would be, yes, it's 3-0 with get him out of here. But like, this one's more of like a.
I don't think this is breakup worthy. I think this is, you guys need to have a real conversation about it, especially if his ex-girlfriend wants to take the dogs.
We're disagreeing on this?
Oh, you don't think this is breakup
Where
worthy?
are the dogs gonna go?
To his ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, she said that.
Like, hand the dogs off.
She said that the ex-girlfriend used to take care of them and that she wants them back.
But if he has them, that means he's not giving them up. Those dogs aren't going anywhere. Especially if there's two and he works. That means he got one dog to take care of the other dogs. So he's not getting rid of them.
Maybe they're just not compatible, but she did put an edit saying he loves his dogs. He refers to them as family. Basically saying that he's not abusive because a lot of people were coming at her.
Well, considering that you don't take care of them, I could call you family, but if I don't take care of you, how family are we?
So, I mean, especially dogs, because that's like, those are your kids.
It's $100 worth of game right there. I'm spitting.
I don't know. I think that this is going to be a big point. But it's also like, if you guys are going to get married and he loves dogs and you don't like dogs, that's a problem.
It's a fundamental issue. I mean, even like, how are you going to dog-proof the yard? How are you going to dog-proof the house? Like, it sounds good. It sounds good putting fences up, but then it's like, you can't freely move through your house. What if you're all in the family room and
she just doesn't want to. She's like, this is my home, you're moving in, and I don't want to have these dogs.
He's not paying rent. We up one, though. We up one.
I don't know. You think this is breakup worthy?
Yeah, it's not like a disrespectful breakup.
I think it's just you aren't compatible.
Work. It doesn't work.
Okay, that was a calm one, but hopefully they figure it out, you know?
Hopefully.
On to the next. Next up, this one had my blood boiling a little bit, okay?
What is it?
It's titled, My 38 female, husband 43 male, refuses to give up his gym girlfriend or even talk about the issue.
That's piping.
If
there were to be a piping one, that one's piping.
Gym girlfriend? Like, what? So let's get into it. On Father's Day, I noticed my husband texting and smiling with someone, ignoring or not seeing me when I invited him to the table for breakfast. I got closer so he could notice me and saw he was texting an unknown woman. We've been married for 4 years and have a preschooler and a 1-year-old.
Damn.
I didn't bring it up besides asking who is that since my mom was in town visiting. When I mentioned it later, I said I didn't know making friends of the opposite sex and not saying anything was okay for us.
Talk to him.
He didn't volunteer anything, but when pressed for further information, he mentioned that he'd been working out with her, which I know he works out 3 to 4 days a week and for 2 to 3 hours before work. 2 to 3 hours? Okay. He ended up admitting he didn't tell me about her because he knew I'd be mad. Moreover, that he'll be working out with whoever he wants.
Business.
Fast forward several one-sided, vulnerable conversations, and 2 months after a lot of feeling sick to my stomach and sleepless nights, I finally laid it out.
Pause.
I didn't give him an ultimatum. I simply told him I can't sleep, I feel heartbroken and constantly concerned. That if I was doing the same, he'd feel awful. And crickets. I asked how long it was going to last and was met with, there's no sign-up sheet in the gym.
Yeah, he's bugging. And what she said back was some heat, but we'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it. I told him I can't imagine continuing our relationship feeling like this and needed to know in words how he felt. He reported feeling the same, that I'm his wife and he loves me, my boundaries unacknowledged and so far unenforced. It's not that I think that he put his in her yet. It's that he won't budge or say anything knowing I'm hurting. I feel like I'm getting more heartbroken daily. The impulse to check his phone is hard to resist at times. I don't want to leave, but I need more than this lack of response from him. At no point have I asked him to stop going to the gym, stop working out with her. I told him I wouldn't ask that he's free to do what he likes, but he should think of something that he's comfortable with to address the issue and rebuild trust. I suggested having her over for dinner. You can guess how that went. He said nothing.
I think the girl who's speaking is actually being very graceful with what she's doing. I think she's going about it really, really, like, really, really, really well. Like, shout out to her for real. Because what he's doing is crazy.
Crazy. I just, first of all, you're spending 3 hours at the gym before work in the morning. Like, you're waking up at 3 a.m. to go work out with this lady.
4 or 5 times a week.
4 or 5 times a week.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure it's overwhelming to have a 1-year-old and a preschooler at home with your wife.
Yeah, he's not helping around the house at all.
But it's like you're literally
way.
getting up to be gone all morning, not help her get the kids fed, dressed, ready for preschool, whatever they're doing, spending all that time that she's working at home with the kids with another woman.
And going off of how, like, the lady's handling the situation, I think what was real chessboard work, real grown-up move was to say, you know what, if you feel for her that way, tell her to come over for dinner.
Yes, I love that. You could tell that that's not an insecure woman.
No, she definitely isn't. That's what it is.
She's like,
That's
bring her over. Like, if you are that comfortable having a relationship with her, let me meet her. Let her be a part of our friend group. And the fact that he's shutting that down is such a red flag.
Well, if you work out, say, 4 times what we on the low end, right? You go for 3 hours. You said 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's 9 hours a week you're spending with another woman, and you're working out together. That's work. You're talking. You're working through stuff.
Yes, and it's like, it's physical. It's just, I would be so uncomfortable with that. She handled it way better than me because I would be pulling up at that gym in the morning,
it's not cool.
watching y'all work out.
Yeah.
Why are you working out for 3 hours? What are you doing for 3 hours? I mean, you and I work out together, and it never exceeds 2.
Or
ever.
you could do, let's do a group workout then. You feel me? Like, why does it have to be you have like a gym girlfriend, but then you're texting her outside of the gym, so it's not like when you leave the gym, it's over.
Yeah.
It's a real fishy situation.
Okay, so she put some more information. She said he's bodybuilding and commuting 40 minutes to get to this gym by work, 30 miles away.
Maybe that plays into the 3 hours then, like an hour there, hour back.
She said he leaves at 4 in the morning to go to this gym, so confrontation is not a possibility. I can't get childcare at that time. So she's like, I'm not confronting him in the morning before he leaves because there's just no point.
Yeah.
And she agrees. She's like, you guys are right. The lack of response is the problem. Not the situation. She's like, the lack of information and response that she's getting back, that's the problem.
You know what? I don't want to. This is like a grown-up relationship. I don't want to speak on it too much. This is more like an internal problem they got to work through. This will be our first one. What are we, 3-1? This will be the first one where they don't need to break up. Well, they need to figure it out. Because you don't know why he wants to do all that. He's doing a lot. 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back.
She also said he's bodybuilding, so that
like, this is something where this is her perspective. I want to hear his perspective. He's tripping. He's wilding. I'm not advocating.
If you're interested, there's a bit of a juicy update.
What's the update?
Update. He eventually came home Monday night in a mood, refusing to eat dinner and arguing over unrelated issues, and eventually said, just so you know, we're no longer working out because of you.
Are we 7? What are we, 7?
Turns out he texted her showing her this post, and she, who apparently is a sweetheart and a stranger, was the one who had the conversation with him that she doesn't want to work out anymore. So
right,
she was like, because I'm sure he was giving her these signals, and she was like, wait, you're married with kids, and like, this is how you're treating this? So, no.
Or like it was serious to him and not her. She's like, if you want to work out, we can work out. But like,
yeah. And she says, like, I'm okay with them being friends. It's just the lack of information he's giving me that's making it suspicious. And I respect that. I understand that. I would be blown.
You can have friends of the other sex. Like, that's not a problem. It's more of I always feel like if you're going to have a friend in that type of situation, at least we need to both know each other.
Yeah.
I need to, like, follow you on Instagram. I need to be able to, like, maybe.
Why is it a secret? Why are we hiding the information? She gave a long update. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But she pretty much ended it up with she's following through on one of her divorce lawyer consultants. So I think she's fed up. He's acting very childish. I respect how she feels about it. I really do.
Yeah. You know what? I gave it a maybe you can stay together and work it out. But she's saying get him out of here. So it's not 3-1. It's 4-0.
By the way she said everything and went about it, if that's how she feels, I agree with her. I'm on her team.
She looks like she stands on business. I'm
She
not
does.
gonna lie.
That was the most respectable way she could have put him down because he deserved it. I would have been like following you to the gym, crashing your car, following her, all that stuff. So I respect the way she went about it.
4 for 4.
4 for 4.
Like a
Everyone's
Wendy's
getting
coupon.
divorced, breaking up. Hey. Well, those are all the stories I have for you today. Those are all the piping hot tea that I could deliver. So,
Well, she delivered. We delivered. This is our podcast. We're going to be doing weekly uploads, and I appreciate you all tuning in. We're going to have stuff dropping daily, but our podcast, check in every week. So appreciate y'all.
Give us suggestions of stuff you want us to talk about. We could break everything down. We have a lot to give. So,
If you have any comments or things you want to say about me or her, put it in the comments. We want to hear it. We want to understand it. Everything you have to say matters.
unless it's mean, don't say anything. I'll cry.
No, if it's me, we want controversy. Give it to us. We want to have it. We want all the smoke.
Thanks for watching or listening, guys, and we hope to hear from you soon.